We're the first two. It's so weird.
I've never done this before, so I'm really glad that was really easy.
It's so easy. But I don't know how to save it afterwards. So I have to then go on an extension on my laptop and rip it down and put it on YouTube. And it's just like, why isn't this easier? I had to Google how to upload a YouTube video. That's how old I am. How has your day been?
Good. How's yours been?
Oh, it made a funny one because I'm working full time from my bedroom I run a software company. It's just so weird to not be in the office together. Like, this time of year is a really big planning period for me and my boss, and it's like we can't do it together. It's very strange. Definitely learning new skills, but I've also been shirking my responsibilities a little bit and been like, yeah, just a bit comfortable at home. And then today we've had a chat, like, you know, we all need to pull our finger out and be a bit more productive because it's still the lockdown. And even after the lockdown, we're not going to go back to the office yet. So,
Oh, really?
being in London, it's travel.
Right.
Having to get on the tube and the trains to get to work is a bit of a nightmare. So, yeah.
Oh, bless.
How are things with you? You're just online coaching now. Are you doing PT as well?
Just online, because PT is just not the same.
No.
So,
But did you move away from PT before the lockdown or just because of it?
no, because of it. So I did a bit of online, but mainly PT. But then all my PT clients I've taken online to give them that. I've also obviously started my self-love coaching, which is online as well. So all been done during lockdown because
No, I'm really glad. That is exactly why I wanted you to come on today and talk about it, because it's very rare to find a physique competitor that has a more holistic approach and is actually more spiritual and about body confidence and loving yourself and doing the work that, let's be honest, bodybuilding goes hand in hand with like mood disorders and depression. And, you know, it's an escape for a lot of us is how we got into the gym and you end up competing. And I think that, there just doesn't seem to be so much self-acceptance, maybe, because you're always striving for more, you know, always. And I was really interested for you to just share, you know, your approach and your thoughts and stuff with everyone, because I know a lot of people have messaged me saying, I can't wait to hear more about just being comfortable, you know, in all the versions of yourself.
Yeah. Well, it's taken me a long time. And it is really hard when it comes to obviously competing, because we all say, love yourself, don't compare yourself. But literally, that is the sport.
Yeah.
You're literally just compared to everybody else. So it is very difficult. And I do remember after the first time I competed, you see your abs for the first time. And then put weight on and you're like, where are you?
I mean, I'm just midway through a prep. I've just obviously pulled out because of lockdown, and I'm starting to get my lower stomach back. Or it might even just be bloat, but you know, it's just a little bit of body fat there. Normal, completely natural. I've still got the lines down the side and the top, and I'm like, why do I feel fat? But skinny fat now, because I'm not really training properly. So it's like, even though I think because I started competing so much later and so much older, so I only joined the gym when I was 31, because I'm just turned 38. So I think my self-esteem is completely based on me and my personality and my qualities and how I live, because I didn't grow up in social media. And I think that it makes such a difference now. Like, my friends that are in their mid-20s, there's so much onus on the way they look. And you have to fit a certain mold. And even I mean, I did a post about it yesterday. I feel like I don't fit the fashionable, thick look, you know, like the big legs, the big bum, like little waist. I don't look like that. Yeah. And even I feel inadequate sometimes, even though when I was growing up, it was my physique that people wanted. They wanted to be tall and skinny, and I'm tall and skinny, you know. And it's like, fashion has changed along with kind of the Kardashians and that kind of look. And even I struggle at my age, even though I'm so comfortable with who I am and know that the way I look does not change who I am and what good person I am. But still little in the back of my mind there thinking, I'm not sexy, you know, or, you know, I'm not what he wants or what they should look like. And it's like, for God's sake, like, how do you truly ever become completely comfortable with who you are?
I think the answer is we never really do.
Mm.
You never finish any transformation, especially from when it's from. But once, as you said, you know it's just a niggle at the back of your head, that is a great place to be, because
Yeah.
you can acknowledge it and be like, oh wait, like that's just me, that's just old habits. And you know, we're always learning, we're always developing. Life throws curveballs at us, society changes, we change.
Mm.
You're never ever done. And I think that's a big thing again with your body, with your physique, or with your goals. Everybody says to me, you know, I'll lose 10 pounds and I'll be happy.
Mm.
And then I'll say, but when you lost 5 pounds, were you happy? And they're like, well, no. I'm like, well, why do you think 10 pounds will make you happier?
Yeah.
And it's more, we think that happiness and self-acceptance and body confidence comes from external factors, but it doesn't. It comes from us. And the moment you realize how powerful and amazing you are through every stage, that's when you'll be happy, because you'll be happy when you lose 1 pound, you'll be happy when you lose 2, you know, you'll be happy with yourself throughout. And at the end of the day, every goal is about happiness, isn't it? Because we think we'll get these things because they make us happy, but it should be the other way around.
Yeah.
Really.
What are the kind of things that you use with your clients then to try and change their mindset to get them to think more like that?
It's more just thinking about it in a different way and how they treat themselves. Because I say to everybody, you know, the one person that you are with all the time through your entire life, you know, people come in and out of your life, relationships, friends, the only person that's consistent is you.
Yeah.
And if you spend 24/7 with someone who every single time you looked in the mirror or they saw you said, ugh, could this be better? Why aren't you good enough? Why isn't this? You would not want to spend time with that person.
Yeah.
But then we expect to like ourselves.
Yeah.
Or, you know, our bodies are not just the case that we are in. You know, we are our soul, we are our thoughts, we are our feelings. And our body, literally 24/7, its only job is to keep us alive. To make sure that we're healthy and thriving. And so this body does all this stuff for us, always.
Yeah.
So, well, you're not good enough, are you?
You need to be a bit thinner or a bit more muscly. I think that it really a turning point for me and my mindset about how I feel about myself was actually because I've grown up being a cynic, you know, and I always classed it as a realist. And it was like, I would be the one that I can't even imagine what I would have dealt with this lockdown like if I still had that mindset, because it was quite negative, really. You don't believe anything. And then when I was trying to foster a more positive mental attitude and more positivity, I did start to do, you know, the gratitude list every day and just think about the 3 things that I was grateful for that day. And some of them are so random, you know, like you walk past, it's a grey bleary day and you just see some really bright flowers or something and it's so beautiful. And I really started to notice stuff like that. And then it started to, when I became more positive and my more of a self-love journey was more about that gratitude list about myself and my qualities and like, what am I good at? You know, why do my friends like me? You know, like what do I have to offer? And then really look at the gaps in who I actually want to be and what do I need to change to get there? You know, do I need to be less selfish? Do I need to listen more to my friends? Do I need to be more interested? Do I need to check in with them? I'm so terrible at like being the one who initiates contact because I'm always doing 100 million things. I love them so much, but it was like, you need to show people how you feel about them, you know, like, and I really did take a lot of work at the start. It felt like a lot of work because change always feels like a lot of work, doesn't it? But once it embeds and it becomes like a part of your lifestyle, it is just your lifestyle, right? It's like going to the gym every day. It just became a lifestyle instead of this thing that we had to do.
Yeah. It's like a habit. You know, every day you look at yourself and you say 10 mean things for your entire life. And now you've got to stop, question that, rewrite that, and do it every day so that, again, that's automatic instead of being negative.
Yeah. I did have a question from someone that said, how do you deal with seeing your body change for the worse? Now, this girl is a competitor, so I think that what she probably means is you get into the shape of your life, which obviously isn't healthy or a great shape, but you do get the abs, for example, and then they're going to go, right? It's just natural. It's not sustainable to be that lean. You feel crap. It really affects your emotions, actually, doesn't it, to be tired and hungry all the time. So I suppose she's like asking how you deal with it, because for me personally, I don't like my stage look. I admire it and I respect it because it is what I need for my sport, and obviously I put myself in that position because I want to compete, but I prefer myself looking healthier and fuller, and I go straight back into calorie surplus. I don't even go to maintenance. I just eat for England. And yeah, so for my body image, don't get me wrong, I get a lot of bloating. So that can be hard to be like, oh my God, I look pregnant. Like I haven't had a stomach for 3 months. And all of a sudden, it's happened to me today. I'm like, whew, it's a food baby. And I haven't even eaten by that time. And I'm like, you haven't got food baby. You've got a normal body. You know, it's just the rest of my body's not caught up with it yet because my limbs are lean. But yeah, for me, my body image, when I say, how do you deal with seeing your body change for the worse? Mine is actually the reverse. In my mind, getting stage lean is the issue I have. I hate my face like this. I hate my body like that. I don't feel sexy. I feel quite masculine, to be honest. And it's hard. It's not sexy, right? And then I just have to tell myself, you know, it's to compete. You want to be world champion? You've got to look like a world champion. But I suppose this question about dealing with your body change for the worse is actually, how do you deal with body fat gain? So how do you personally like feel about your body in both versions? You still stay quite lean, actually. I think that is a difference with me as well. Like my natural body isn't that big. You know, it's quite hard for me to get bigger. I really got to pack in that food. And I mean, I do anyway. But I've got to be uncomfortable every day physically because I've eaten too much to bulk. And I feel like you've probably got the same kind of genetics. So we probably interact with how we look a little bit differently.
Yeah. But
you must have a lot of clients that do not have these genetics, right? That you have to try and help them. Look, Natalie's saying she agrees. She prefers herself not stage lean. I like how I look 6 weeks out before I start to look dead. But it's true, right? I think a lot of us don't like. But then the person that asked this question, she loves being shredded. Yeah. And that's not her natural genetics. She's a curvy girl. Yeah. So how would you, I don't know, if you had a client that was in that situation where they were struggling with putting weight back on and getting back to their health and their hormones and stuff, how would you advise them to deal with that?
I would focus more on how you feel than how you look. One thing that it was a bit of a light bulb moment for me when I used to worry about losing my abs and things like that, or putting on a bit of weight, was the world you see is out here. We focus so much downwards that we miss the beauty in the rest of the world. We miss that this is not the most important thing in life. This is. And once you put the energy that you were putting into disliking yourself into doing things that make you feel good, or focusing on the energy you have, or focusing on the gym, and the fact that you can sleep again, because sometimes people get you're not moody all the time, I'm with you now. Like, focus on the positive things that are external instead of looking at yourself all the time. And you don't have to focus on how you look so much. Also, I think with people worrying about putting body fat on, a lot of the time it's because they worry about what other people are going to think. Yes. Why do we need to be lean all year round? Because we think that's impressive for other people. Yeah. But we don't realise that people don't actually care that much if you put a bit of body fat on. Like when you were saying you woke up bloated, no one cares. Bloated apart from you.
Do you know, it was a real light bulb moment for me to realise that not one other person on this planet, not one, including a boyfriend, right, cares what I look like. you know, because that person, if they like you, they're with you for you. They obviously like what you look like. Boys also don't notice. So I was talking to Mike last night, and I was saying, like, I feel insecure about my body at the moment. It's in a weird in-between stage. Like, I just don't feel like myself. It doesn't feel sexy. And he was like, it hasn't changed that much. And I'm like, excuse me, I've lost 5 kilos. Or what do you mean it hasn't changed that much? But boys don't notice. I got my lips done. He saw me 2 days later. He didn't even notice. You know, like, and yeah, do you know who the only people that actually ever comment on my appearance because they notice are my sisters? Because they're sisters, right? They've seen you your whole life and they notice a change. But they also don't care what I look like.
Yeah.
I think that was a real, like, self-acceptance moment for sure. And just this lockdown, especially, the post I wrote yesterday is very true. Like, it's really made me think about what I have to offer as a person to someone who actually can't see me, right? So say, just even my followers on Instagram, my friends, you know, it's all electronic. I can't see them in person. They don't give a shit what I'm wearing or what I look like. But what they do care about are my virtues, you know, and what I have to offer for them and how I make them feel. And yeah, I think it's a constant battle, isn't it, to be the best you can be, but also to be happy with who you are today as well. Is like, that was a real, also like a self-acceptance, self-love thing for me. It was like, I've always, especially when I was younger, had these big goals and these big ambitions, and I've never been content with where I am, you know, so it's always more. And then actually, funnily enough, it was winning the British that made me realize, okay, I've done what I came to do. I can take a step back now. I've achieved it. I've proved it to myself, and I can be content that I've done enough now. I don't need any more, but I'm still going to strive for more. I want to be world champion now, right? But it doesn't mean I can't be content with where I'm at and to have a slower, it's a change of pace, to be honest. I'm so much happier with where I'm at now, with that kind of mindset of like, content but still ambitious. You can still be content but ambitious, and I never thought that before. I had a boyfriend once that actually said, like, you just don't want to change, like, you're so happy with who you are right now. And I was like, because I'm the best I've ever been, you know, like, and I'm going to enjoy it for now, and I'm not perfect, and I'm always going to be working on myself, but it's not going to be this crazy, like, I hate myself and that's why I'm going to try and be better. It's like, I'm great the way I am, but I'd like to improve on X, Y, Z, you know, and like, I'd like to be more patient, for example. that's some lifelong work there. And then she asked as well, my friend, do you find meditation and herbal supplements helpful for anxiety? So I very famously talk about it quite a lot. I suffer from anxiety, guys. And it's quite new, actually. I've only had it for 2 years. I never had it before, or maybe I didn't notice I had it before. And literally nothing helps me. Meditation, I haven't found the right form of meditation yet. I think it's like with anything, you have to find the right thing that fits you and your mindset at the right time. But I wondered if you use any apps, or have you been on any kind of like courses, or are aware of anything that you can share with people that are looking for meditation solutions, because I'm really bad at them. Like, my mind is just racing 24/7.
Yeah, I used to be like that when I started doing it. I would sit, and I think I don't remember what app I used, but I used a quite famous app. In there 10 minutes, the whole time I was thinking, I could be doing so much more with my 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I was like, what am I doing? I'm sitting on the floor doing nothing. And then I had a mindset change about it, and I thought, you are doing something. You're meditating for you. You're taking minutes out of your day just to be with yourself. And once I realised that I was doing it for me, it was a bit of a change. Mm-hmm. But I completely agree. You need to find the kind of voice that suits you, or sometimes you can just get music, or sometimes you can get I think on here Tony Robbins has a miracle morning 20-minute thing, which is a bit of meditation, a bit of pumping yourself up, which is really hard. But it depends what mood you're in. Like, sometimes I want Robbins to pump me up, sometimes I just want to listen to calming music for 10 minutes, sometimes I want something that resonates with what I need. But I use an app called Insight Timer,
Mm-hmm.
which is free, and it has music, courses, guided meditation, all kinds of stuff. But I think you just you and what you need. Like some days I want to sit for 5 minutes. Some days I'm happy to sit there for 20. Some days I want someone to talk to me. Some days I don't.
Yeah.
Trial
and error.
Yeah, you've got to listen to you and what you need, because what we want changes every day sometimes. And you just got to be patient with it as well.
Yeah. That's the thing. I think maybe one day it just clicks. I must admit, even my first few years training, I didn't enjoy training because I wasn't very strong, you know, and I wasn't very good. And I didn't understand, you know, like if someone demonstrated an exercise, I wouldn't be able to go, oh, that's for your back, or that's going to hit like this bit, because I just didn't have the experience. And it was a chore to train, but I trained to compete. So it was just this whole vicious circle. And then one day, it just clicked because I was stronger. My core was stronger. I started to have, like, obviously be more experienced to just understand what I was doing. And now I can go into a gym and not have a plan and know I want to train my back and just train my back, you know, like, and it was like a light bulb moment that all of a sudden the gym worked for me. And actually I started to enjoy it. It took years, but maybe I think with the meditation for sure, like for me, for example, if I go hiking or I go walking in nature, I'm such a Londoner, right? So nature is just like some grass and some trees. I feel so much peace, you know, like when I go on holiday now, without fail, there will be a day or two of hiking. Like I don't go anywhere that you can't. I mean, my poor friend Jo, I dragged her through the jungle in Thailand for a week. She wanted to go too, though. She loves it as well. Like, but it was the most incredible experience, and we literally looked like shit, you know, like we didn't wear makeup for a week. It was so much fun. We killed our ankles. We're still struggling now. We went in November. I've literally sent her this link the other day to rehab your ankle, and she was like, we are so old. And I was like, yeah. And then the other question was about herbal supplements helpful for anxiety. So I personally have tried everything. So I used to take 5-HTP. I actually got some good sleep out of it. And for me, sleep obviously just makes you feel less emotional, makes me feel calmer. I really am frazzled when I'm exhausted. But I got used to it very quickly. I've tried, I don't know how to say it even, ashwagandha. Anyway,
Yeah.
I can't say I notice a difference, but then I have a very stressful lifestyle. I live in the city, you know, like I prep and I compete. I've got quite a demanding job. I'm then trying to date and see my friends and stay alive, you know, and it's like something a little bit stronger for me. But actually, there's no anxiety medication that you can take as an asthmatic. So that's good. What I must say is Complete Strength actually have a calm product that I didn't feel different, but my Fitbit's telling me different. My Fitbit's telling me that my sleep has improved, the quality of my sleep and the type of like restorative sleep has improved, which must be doing me the world of good. And my resting heart rate's gone down. And that's the like most noticeable thing is it's usually about 90 beats per minute. I wake up and it's 90 beats per minute. I mean, for goodness sake. And I'm waking up now and it's like, well, my normal resting heart rate's about 60 now. And I'm not any fitter, but I really credit it. And it does have ashwagandha in it, actually. Ashwagandha? Oh, look, Jodie's just joined. Jodie, I'm just bigging up Complete Strength. Jodie's got a discount code, guys, because I don't know if you know, but she's a sponsored athlete. But yeah, no, I just think it's brilliant. And it was Jodie and another one of our friends is Complete Strength that just said, why don't you try this product? And look, she's put it in there now. CS Jodie. We terrorize her for being sponsored. But yeah, I think it's been, I would say, the best herbal remedy that I've tried. Nothing from Boots works for me. But have you tried anything, or has anyone you know tried anything that you would say was any good? Oh no, you've gone quiet. I can't hear you, Beth. Can you hear me? What's happened? I still can't hear you. Maybe if you leave and then rejoin. You can't hear me either. No. Why don't... Okay, hopefully Beth will rejoin. Sorry, everyone. Jodie is so funny. Oh, look, here we've got... So Holly says that Storm Support Max Neuro is also a good supplement. And it's... All these bodybuilding supplements are just herbal. I think they're really, really great, actually. Hold on. She's requested. Let's see if it works again. There we go. You're back.
You froze, and then when you came back, I couldn't hear you. I was like, what?
So I was just saying that I really like Complete Strength, Calm. And then actually Holly has also said Storm Support Max Neuro is good as well. Do you have anything that you could recommend or that you've tried? Oh my God, Natalie, have you tried marijuana? We don't talk about that in public, okay? That shit's illegal.
To be honest, I've tried a lot of things, herbal things. Tried 5-HTP. I've tried L-theanine. I've tried ashwagandha. I've tried elm drops. I've tried
anything you could get your hands on, right?
Melatonin, all kinds of stuff. But I don't find it makes a massive difference. I think the things that work for me, I know not everybody can do it because of schedule, is just every day thinking about how I feel and how I want to deal with my day, how my body feels. Like some days we wake up and we're like, right, let's kill it. Some days we wake up like, I just want to potter about a bit and, you know, do things. Or my friend bought me this diamond painting thing, which is quite fun. Or I read a book, or just checking in with myself more often, really, and myself things that I find take me away from things that are stressing me.
Mm-hmm.
I've also started doing a bit more of like social media intentionalism, we call it. So not minimalism. We call, like, I would try to only be on my phone when I'm going to do something specific.
Yeah.
Because this is when we get into the comparison headspace, when we're just sat on a night scrolling and scrolling, and 2 hours have gone by, your head's by because you're staring at a screen for 2 hours. You're 2 years deep into someone's Instagram. You don't dare click on the screen just in case, but
we've all been there.
Yeah. Or you just spend all day looking at screens and you realise you've done no work at all.
Yeah.
So I've started just taking myself away when it's not intentional.
Mm-hmm.
And that helped me. But it's more thinking about what triggers you as well. Like,
you know what really helped me actually is you can follow hashtags on here. So I started to follow the more spiritual hashtags. I follow like inner peace, positivity, self-love, all these kind of hashtags that now in my wall, the posts are broken up by the people that I follow by a hashtag post that it's not anyone I know. And it can either be a really a meme I really resonate with, you know, or a saying or something that really gets me. I straight away share that. Or it can just be, just gives me some perspective sometimes, you know, and it's because someone has just hashtagged that on their post. It's not just these formal positivity pages. It's just like a regular person like me and you that has done a post, probably, you know, put their heart into it, and then hashtagged it positivity, for example. And then I get to really see into someone else's mindset and their approach and how they're kind of trying to improve. And I found that really helpful for giving me just some new ideas, some new ways of thinking, and just taking me out of my own bullshit. Because everyone wallows, right? So I tell you what, this is going to sound so stupid, but now in the lockdown, everyone's posting their home workouts and they're all at home all the time. And you can just see some people live in incredible bloody houses. And I live in, honestly, the smallest flat in London. But I have to just then say to myself, you know what? They have got an amazing flat or house. Half of them, it's their parents anyway. But also, I live here on my own and I pay for it, you know, and I'm proud of myself that I actually put myself out there as well, because when I first lived on my own, I wasn't very comfortable with my own company. It was a big step, and it was a real painful experience, actually, the first year of living on my own, because I had to get used to my own company. I had to get familiar with who I am, really. There's lots of hours to overthink.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm actually so glad. I know people have been quite worried about me being on my own, and I did dramatize it in my mind for a little while as well. But I like being on my own. It's why I live on my own, you know, like I love my own space. I love my own company. It's taken a lot of work to get there. And I think that a lot of people at the moment are having to face their reflection of who they are for the first time ever, you know, because there's no distractions. And I think that that's why maybe there was so many people that said that they wanted to watch this after we do it. And tomorrow I've got one with Jodie on mindset and mental health. And they've been so popular because people are struggling, aren't they? And they're desperate to just hear some tips and tricks of how they can improve, how they feel about themselves, how they feel about the situation. And for me personally, it just goes back to the gratitude list. It sounds so silly, you know. When I first started to do it, I thought, this is so stupid, you know, like trying to scrabble around, trying to find 3 things on a day I didn't even leave the house that I'm grateful for. And now it's so easy to find the most obscure things and just be so pleased for them, you know. And I really do notice the little things more. But it's taken a long time to develop that mindset. And also a kind of like, I don't really care what other people are doing anymore. I really try not to get sucked in that comparison thing. Someone asked us yesterday about, do we care about the other girls that we compete against? It's like, I don't look at them, you know, unless they're my friend. And then I'm like, bitch, eat a burger, cheat on your diet. Do not beat me. But yeah, I don't compare myself to other people in that way. And because that's a thief of joy, isn't it? Like, you'll never think you're enough, or that you're in the right place, or you've done enough, if you're constantly looking at what other people have, because they're only showing you the version they want to see as well, right?
Yeah. Well, normally we're looking at people who are like at the end of where we want to be. We're on one, they're on day 50, and we're like, why am I not good enough? It's like, they were on day 1 before. You just don't see day 1 because they're on day 50.
What did it take? Was there like a turning point for you where you were just basically sick of your own bullshit kind of thing and was like, I need to make some changes here? Because for me, I was literally just sick of being miserable and just thought, I have to help myself because no one else is going to, you know. People do care about me, but they're not that invested that they're going to drag me kicking and screaming on my self-improvement journey. I have to do it for myself. And it has that knock-on effect of affecting my friends and family positively as well. But yeah, I definitely was just one day like, I can't live like this anymore. You know, was it like a light bulb moment for you like that, or was it just something that just happened organically?
I think mine was a bit more gradual, to be honest. I was in a kind of situation, let's say, that was making me really unhappy, and I was trying to do things about it, but I was blaming myself and being down on myself about it and saying, how can I change, and what's wrong with me, and I need to do X, Y, and Z. And I think it was one of my friends suggested journaling to me, which is, and I recommend to everyone. I think it's incredible. Where it's a bit like, you know, when you're having a down day or you're stressed about something, you call your friend, and as the words come out, you realise how you actually feel. Put it into words, and then you can kind of visualise it and be like, oh, right, okay. It's a bit like that, you know, when you feel a certain way, but you don't really get it. So you write it down, and then you can kind of, the more you do it, the better you get at analysing it and kind of giving yourself help. Yeah. In a book. But I kind of I remember I would wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and just be journaling because I couldn't sleep and things like that. And it just got to a point that I realised that I was making myself miserable. Change in a situation that was making me miserable. I kind of realised that I needed to honour myself and choose myself and choose what made me happy and make some big changes in my life, and stop thinking that everything's my fault and that there's something wrong with me and I need to change to fit other people or external factors. There was nothing wrong with me. I was just in a situation that wasn't making me happy.
Mm-hmm. Did you find that you had to distance yourself from a lot of people in your life at that time? Because I personally, you know, I feel like when you grow up, you sometimes end up being friends with people just because you've been friends with them for so long, but you've grown, you know, you've both grown, and sometimes you've grown apart and you don't share the same values and the same ethics, but you're still friends and you're not actually adding any value to each other's lives. You know, sometimes it can be quite toxic, I think, especially if there's any resentment or any judgment. So I just found myself going through this process. My friends used to really laugh at the time because I just used to cut people off. Not my true friends, right? Because that's just ridiculous. But people that really were kind of more not acquaintances. I don't follow people that I don't relate to on here, for example. Like when people say, you know, you're in charge of your social media, and I'm like, I just follow my friends. I don't even follow all my friends because we annoy each other on social media because we do have different, you know, like especially my friends that don't train, that why would they follow this page? You know, they don't care how much I can deadlift. But I really did find I had to kind of reevaluate who I had in my life and who was around me, because the way they are really influences my thought pattern and how I feel.
Yeah. Well, I kind of went through that phase when I was younger, because I actually got into bodybuilding. When I was like 18, I developed an eating disorder, and that was very hard for my friends at the time, because obviously when you're 18, you're with your friends who you've been with from school.
Yeah.
So they understand, and that's very high tensions, and they try and force things on you, and then I'm like, and then so we kind of lost a bit of closeness through that. And then when I went to university, that's when I started bodybuilding. So my friends in university couldn't really resonate with me because I was getting up to go to do cardio when they were coming in.
Yeah.
I wasn't invited anymore, and they would just eat shit and drink, and I was like, not having any of that. So I did find when I was young, I went through a phase of this quite bad, and I lost touch with pretty much all my friends from home after moving. Because just people couldn't resonate, they didn't understand. I remember this was 5-6 years ago now, so this was before female bodybuilding was as popular as it was now. So people just didn't get it, and they're like, why do you always want to be in the gym and you never eat anything and stuff like that? And I kind of ended up just kind of plodding on and doing it on my own and having friends in the gym.
Yeah.
But surprisingly, 2 of my best friends from school who I lost touch with, we've actually come back in touch in the last couple of years because of the self-development, spiritual that I do. They've started all just kind of come back at a time that was good for us. So we both grew in different ways, and now we've come back together.
Yeah.
But it is difficult at the time when your friends, they're kind of in this space, and then you move out and they're not coming with you, so you feel like alienated. But all I can say is if you keep going on the journey that you're on, and if you know the journey is true to you, you will find people who are on the same path as you.
Yeah. And
you will make new friends, and any friends who are meant to be in your life will stay. And if they won't, they don't have to feel that.
Yeah, I think that was a key thing for my happiness as well, was just to stop trying to force myself into situations where I'm not valued or welcome. And so I would be the terrible, like, classic, the boy wouldn't be treating me properly, I'd be fighting for this relationship, and they clearly, like, they care, but they don't care enough, kind of thing. And it was like, I'd go tooth and nail to try and make that relationship work. Whereas now it's like, do you know what? If you can't appreciate and value who and what I am, you're missing out. Like, sure, I miss out to an extent, but I'm going to attract someone that is going to value me the way I deserve to be valued, right? And I think that that was also really a key, like, turning point for me, was just to think, not everyone is for you, and some people are just in your life to teach you a certain lesson, and off you go, you know. Like it's like being able to let go was such a valuable new skill that I learned, and I only had it for a couple of years now, you know, maybe even just a year, and it's changed my life. Just trying to stop forcing myself into places where I don't quite fit. Even jobs, you know, everyone's had a job where it looks great on paper, it's actually not that good in real life. But you keep on at it because you're either getting paid well, you don't want to look for another job, you know, like you've got the security there. And actually, you'd be so much happier if you just take the risk of going after what it is you actually want to do.
It's the fear factor. Everything life is a fear factor. You get comfortable in a certain position, and even if it makes you miserable, you're like, but if I change, then I might not be able to come back, and then what's going to happen? But if you're unhappy, then
change it.
Change is always going to be something better, surely.
You did post something yesterday, I think, or maybe today, just saying what you are not changing, you're choosing. And that really, really resonated with me, because it is true, you know, we are the masters of our own destiny, right? And we have within our entire power to change almost everything, right? To an extent. I mean, you can't change your family, but you can certainly interact with them in a different way. But yeah, that quote that you put, like, that really did hit home for me, and just think, you know, it's true. And you should always be reevaluating, like, what you're doing, where you're at. Is it where you want to be? Is it honoring your journey to where you want to be? I've definitely had to make some decisions that are quite hurtful, really, you know, because I want to do that thing or have that person in my life, but actually they're not good for me, you know, or it's not going to help me get where I need to get. Hello. My cat's here, sorry.
I'm surprised my dog, but yeah, to be fair.
Somebody's asked if you've got any top tips for getting through tough days. Oh God, he's coming on the call, guys, because otherwise he's not going to stop meowing.
I would say show yourself even more self-love on these days, because normally if we wake up and we're not in a great mood or we feel crappy, we'll be sat there beating ourselves up like, what was wrong with me? Why do I feel crap? I can't do this, can't do that. But you're adding to the negative feelings towards yourself. So if you're having a day when you feel crap, do things that make you feel better. You know, obviously with lockdown, some of us are more fortunate than others that we have more time. But if you're someone who, when you're having a down day, you need to drink cups of tea on the couch all day and watch films, do that. You know, the world's not going to stop just because you had one day off.
Yeah.
Or, you know, if you're finding that your tasks seem overwhelming, that's the word.
Yeah.
Seem overwhelming, and that's what's causing negativity. Just pick 3 things that are doable, do them, and then leave the rest till a day that you've got loads of energy, because you will make up for it. You don't have to do everything in the day.
Yeah.
But just make sure you're really listening to yourself, listening to how you and making yourself feel better with things that work for you. Journaling, because sometimes you wake up and you're having a bad day, and you'll write something down and you reflect on it and you go, oh, that's not actually that bad, and then you feel better.
I must say, another thing that really affects my mood is my monthly cycle.
Yeah.
So I use an app to track it, and sometimes I'll be having this crazy psycho emotional moment, and then I'll get a notification on my phone saying your period is due in 2 days, and you're like, oh yeah. And then I just learned to be kind to myself, knowing that any kind of crazy feelings I'm having that day, or, you know, I kind of am like, it's hormones. You know, like, it is hormones. And I think especially as physique competitors, we mess with our hormones quite a lot by dieting down. And I think that body image question that we had earlier about seeing your body change for the worse, I think you also really do need to know and understand that it is your hormones going haywire, you know, that it's really going to affect how you feel about yourself, how you feel about everything. You know, when I'm dieting, I can't even listen to my colleagues chewing in the office, because I'm like, there's one that drums drums his fingers, and I'm just literally like, but I need to be kind to him because it's my choice to diet, you know. But yeah, I just think that there's a lot of people that at the moment are really starting to look within and to look at more mindfulness and trying to be kinder to themselves. And I think that you do need to have a level of self-awareness. I did quite a scary thing once. Wrote down a description of who I am, in my opinion, and then I asked some of my closest friends to write a black and white version of who am I, who do they see me as. And I asked them, like, you have to be cruel to be kind. I want to know, what am I putting out there? You know, what's your perception of me? What's the reality, really? Because sometimes you think that you're doing one thing and you are not, right? And I mean, I didn't hold it against them. Some of them said some upsetting things, but you know, it's never nice to hear that you're not exactly this great person that you think you are. And one of them was, as I said, like, that I just never reached out first because I always was just I'm so comfortable in our friendship that I know that they'll always be there, and I would have hoped that they had thought the same. But obviously everyone's different, right? And everyone has different comfort levels. But communicating with my friends in that way really helped me to work on who I am and who I want to be, you know. And some of it's painful, isn't it? But growth is painful, isn't it?
Yeah, honestly, I think this lockdown phase, as you were saying, because everybody's just there with their emotions, it's like putting a magnifying glass on everything.
Yeah.
More intense. And this past few months, so many things have come up for me. It's ridiculous. But I know in myself that them coming up is a good thing.
Yeah.
And flaws or blocks or things that we need to work on, and we think, oh my God, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this. But the fact that you are realising those things, if they are things that you aren't 100% happy with,
yeah,
you can do things. That's just more things that you can improve on and become the person or these things that are coming up could be blocks that are blocking you from achieving your full potential, or for believing in yourself, or for loving yourself. So it's all painful in the beginning, but it's all beneficial afterwards.
Yeah.
And there have been some things that my boyfriend has pulled up to me whilst we've been in lockdown, because obviously you spend all the time together. And at first, when you say, oh, your boyfriend, you're like,
defensive, right? Your ego gets in the way, right?
but then when you let go,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I literally have had conversations and he's like, are we talking about this again? And I'm like, I just need to get it out and then it's fine. You know, like, but I think communication is so important, but not just with other people, with yourself. You know, you need to talk to yourself and have that internal dialogue all the time. And I really think self-acceptance as who you are right now is probably the number one, like, building block for you to be able to grow into the person you're destined to be. Because you can't be doing it from a place of hate. You need to do it from a place of love. I'm really interested to hear about the coaching practice you have for self-love, because obviously most of the people watching are fitness competitors, so we know the value of a physique coach or a nutritionist. But what do you offer in your coaching practice that will help people to become this better version of themselves?
With self-love coaching, it's completely different to fitness coaching. So with fitness coaching, there's obviously kind of a template. It's a bit like learning basics and then you build up.
Yeah.
With this type of, it's completely intuitive. So it depends on the person, what level they're at, where their pain points are, where they feel they need to work on, their past experiences, their blocks, their limiting beliefs. It's completely individual on the person. There's not really a guideline.
Yeah.
Connect with the person, realize, talk to them, dig deeper, realize where things are actually coming from, give them a bit of a different perspective on that, and then start the work depending on wherever they are.
Yeah.
Well, I'm currently doing, it will be done by the end of the week, a 4-week program, which I designed because I've been speaking to a lot of people and they kind of want a bit of everything. So that's going to have like workouts you can do at home, nutrition guidance, so not nutrition plans, because I want to kind of teach people how to do it for themselves and where that fits them and their day, and so they don't feel restricted, because I feel like sometimes that doesn't work for everybody. Bodybuilder mindset, it doesn't work. And in that, we're going to do mindfulness practices, body confidence, releasing blocks, limiting beliefs, gut health, and why that's important for your mental health. I just putting it all together, really.
I was going to ask you about gut health, actually, because so for me, I did a lot of reading about obviously serotonin being produced in the gut, and my gut health is so bad because I'm a fitness competitor and I live on cans of Monster and black coffee all day long on an empty stomach, you know, like we don't eat healthily when we're dieting. And I really found that a probiotic changed everything, like the way I feel physically, but also mentally, because my digestion was better. And it's so strange. I would never think that a probiotic could make me feel happier. Because I didn't really have issues per se, but definitely I'm like, it's only when you actually start to get gut health that you realize you didn't have it before, you know. Is that something that you do every day? Like, what do you do for your gut health? Because I think that a lot of people don't really know much about it.
Gut health is so important for you, like your skin, your mood, your immune system, your hormones, your, as you say, serotonin levels, your mood, your energy levels. Because if all your bacteria is not working right, it makes you feel shit. And things like that can be affected by the gut. I do old school apple cider vinegar in the morning with hot water and lemon. So started taking Arbonne, Digestive Plus, and greens. I didn't even forgot that then. Greens powder.
We try and forget greens, that's why.
I drink that looks rank. Greens. And it's just things like being more mindful when you're eating, which works with mindfulness as well. Actually chewing your food, because once you start chewing, it sets off the saliva glands in your body that you're eating so that you can digest. So normally we'll sit down, we'll just scoff it and then go. Had time to catch up. Make sure you're getting lots of greens in. It's more the foods you're choosing as well. You know, if sometimes we eat foods that bloat us, but then we're not paying attention to the fact they bloat us, or we don't care. And we're eating it, or sometimes certain foods affect your mood, but again, if we're not assessing it, it's not working with us, not working with our body. Also, you know, the contraceptive pill can be really bad for your...
It's just made me a crazy bitch for years, because I've been taking it since I was young, you know, like a teenager, and I only stopped taking it in my early 30s, and I've the world of difference. To use a non-hormonal birth control was just changed my entire being, really. My ex-boyfriend was so happy when my mood changed. The thing that you said about noticing how food makes you feel, you could like put that in your journaling as well, right? It's about and easier to track, isn't it, when it just becomes part of your daily lifestyle to actually pay attention. So
I'm gonna in the program, not just posting out there all the time, but there will be a little food diary that they'll get in one of the sections, where you put in what you've eaten, how you feel beforehand, like body wise, how you feel after body wise, and how you feel before and after mentally. Because, you know, if you don't ask, you don't know.
Yeah, definitely. So we've only got 5 minutes left. It's gone really quickly. I've really enjoyed it. But do you have anything else that you'd like to just leave everyone with, some gems of knowledge or some ways of thinking?
God, I don't know. Just remember that you are more than your body. We are such powerful beings inside. We don't even realize, because we're so busy focusing on the casing that we're in. We block ourselves from our full potential because we are too busy just focusing on this. Also, celebrate yourself all the time. That's something I've learned.
Yeah.
Before you become British champion, and then you go,
and then you can't tell anyone that you're proud of yourself because they think you're bragging. Yeah. I've really tried to work on celebrating myself more, but in a humble way, because you just don't want to be arrogant, but also you should celebrate your successes because you worked your ass off and you achieved something, whatever it is. It's going to be something that you really needed or wanted, you know. And yeah, I really did feel that I kind of tried to play it down every time, and it was actually my non-bodybuilding friends when I was like, oh, you know, it doesn't really mean anything, and they were like, no, it does, you know, like you worked your ass off and you got that, you know, commendation to show that, you know, well, they say that it was worth it because they can't imagine why you would do it without winning the British. Do you think that it changed you as a person?
Not really.
See, I really think it made me believe in myself more, because I never thought I could win a British championship.
Yeah.
And then when I did, I was literally like, hold on a minute. It really taught me that if I work hard enough, it's not necessarily about talent. It can be about work ethic, because I'm not the muscliest girl in my class. You know, I don't have the best of anything, but I just ticked enough boxes and put it all together into the package that they were looking for on the day. But it did just teach me that if you need to work hard to reap the benefits, you know, in everything that you do. It was really a transferable thing. Oh, yeah. This cat is so heavy.
It definitely realised that I am good enough, because I never thought I would have a title of anything.
Yeah.
But it was one of those things, you know, you do it and then you're like, right, world's next.
Yeah, that's me now.
You don't sit and do a dance and be like, yeah, look at that.
So are you going to compete again?
I'm not sure. It's not in my foreseeable future, but I say never say never.
Not in anyone's foreseeable future at the moment. I'm just enjoying the food and the sleep and the energy before we go back into prep. So that's another thing that I really just quickly would say, there's always a positive in every single negative. There's always a lesson to be learned, and it's really just being able to take a step back when that bad thing or that shit thing or that negative thing is happening and say, okay, what is the benefit here? You know, it was shit that Worlds was cancelled because of the lockdown, but at the end of the day, it's given me so much back, you know, and yeah, it's disappointing, but there's so many other things that I can work on now that I didn't have the opportunity to do while I was prepping. So yeah, a positive in every negative is one of my biggest, like, lifelong lessons now.
One of my best friends always says to me, if you're having a shit time or something happens, you should always say, what is this teaching me?
Mm.
I'll message her something, she'll be like, what is this teaching you? I'll be like,
Yeah.
What needs to tell me what to do?
Oh God, look, it's Thursday at 8, so everyone's clapping for the NHS. We're like, thank you so much, Beth. I think that you've given us some real gems. I'm going to put this on YouTube. If anyone wants to catch up after the 24 hours, it's not on Instagram, they'll be able to, because I think it's really, really worthwhile. And I'm so glad that you feel this way, because there's so many girls that just absolutely in this constant cycle of hating themselves and not knowing how to change that. And I think that with people like you offering the coaching and just spreading your message on social media, it's just going to give them some food for thought.
Yeah.
And that's all we can hope for, right?
Exactly. It's all about spreading the love. Spread
the love, guys. Positive vibes. Thank you so much, everyone, and thank you so much, Beth. It was amazing.
Thank you for having me on.
Have a good night.
See you. Bye.